Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Cooking with Shane. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've tried the recipes that we worked on the last couple weeks, and I hope you will try the recipe that we're going to do today. So we've done the 3 little pigs with our mini pigs in a blanket, and we did Hansel and Gretel last week with our gingerbread ice cream sandwiches, and today we are going to visit Jack and the Beanstalk. But we're not going to cook a beanstalk, because if you've ever chewed a beanstalk, you will know that they don't make really good eats. They're chewy and hard to eat. So instead, we are going to do Jack and the Bean burrito. So I don't know if you love Mexican food, but I love Mexican food, and burritos are one of my favorite things. So they're really easy to make. There are a lot of ingredients, but they go together really quick, and we'll show you how easy this is to make. So before I started recording, I just cooked off some rice. Just cook it according to whatever your directions are. This is probably about 2 cups of uncooked rice. So that's going to bulk up and make about 4 cups of cooked rice. You probably won't need quite all that much, but it's best to have too much than not enough. So just while we've got this out, I'm going to add a little bit of flavoring to this. I'm just going to actually just add some taco seasoning to this, just to give it a little bit of flavor, probably about a half a packet, and just kind of give it a stir. If you don't like that seasoning, you don't have to. You can kind of make this any way you like to your taste preference. You're going to find out as we go along a lot of things. You may not like the flavor of some of these things, and that's okay. We want you to try them and hope that you like them. But if you try them and you don't like them, there are things you can kind of use that your palate might be a little more used to trying. So we're just gonna, enough to kind of change the color of the rice. And it's just gonna give it that kind of taco flavor. If you don't like that, of course, like I said, so it's just gonna be regular white rice, which I kind of find a little bland. So I like to just kind of spice it up a little bit. So we're gonna set that off to the side. And now we have to cook our vegetables for this. So Mexican food is really, you find a lot of vegetables in them. And it's a great way to kind of get your veggies in, because they're sort of, while they're mixed in with all the food, you don't necessarily notice that you're even eating vegetables. So this is a great way to get your vegetables. So we're going to start 1 onion, a medium-sized onion. So we're just going to peel the outside off. And I noticed last week while I was editing that it looks like I'm just throwing everything on the floor over here, and I assure you that I'm not throwing stuff on the floor. So don't get in that habit. It's not good to just throw things on the floor. I have a trash can over here. Okay, so I'm just going to take this in half. You'll want a grown-up to help you with this, because you need kind of a sharp knife. So I'm just going to make a whole bunch of lines across. We're just going to dice it. So we do like to point out, if you are helping with this, if you're kind of old enough to start using knives, knife safety is really important. You always want to make sure that you're holding your knife. So this is the best way to have control. If you don't have control of your knife, it's really dangerous, because you really could start nipping off ends of your fingers and stuff. So you want to hold the very sort of the edge of the knife where it comes into the handle with your thumb and your index finger. And you're going to use your other 3 fingers to hold the handle. And that is going to make sure that your wrist is always going up and down, so you don't have any sort of like loose flopping around with the knife. And when you're holding your vegetables, I'll kind of hold it in the front. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you always kind of want to make sure that the knife is butted up against the knuckles of your finger. So this way, if you have your fingers out like this, you really could do a lot of damage. So you curl your fingers in, and cut down. So this way you're never going to cut yourself, because the knife is always on this side of your hand. And it's also really dangerous to cut over a stovetop and really in front of yourself. So I'm going to bring it back over here for now. But that really is sort of the best way to cut. You just want to be super careful. Just so you know, just for full disclosure, I have cut myself many times cooking. I think if you cook it all, you will cut yourself a lot. So just be careful because you don't want to do a really bad one. Alright, so we've got a little pan here. We're going to put in a little oil. And we're going to put in our onions. This is really going to start sizzling here. And that's what we want to do. So just give it a good stir. If it sounds like it's sizzling really, really hard, turn it down a little bit. We want to saute these, we don't want to burn them. And a saute is a high heat, but not so much that it burns them. We want to pull all the sugars out of here, so these are nice and sweet. So we're going to let these cook, and while that cooks, we're going to go ahead and cut up our garlic. So this is a head of garlic. It has a whole bunch of loose skin that will fall around, so don't hold it over the food that you're cooking. But it's got a whole bunch of little pieces of garlic in here, so I'm going to open it up and show you. So this is what you buy in the store. You just kind of press down on it, and it will release all these little cloves. So we're going to need 4 cloves. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to put the rest off to the side. So you may notice, if you can see that close, it still has the skin on it. This is what we kind of call the wrapper. And garlic is actually pretty sticky, so it's hard to get that wrapper off. So the trick is, kind of take your garlic, and then you just kind of put your knife and you tap it with the back of your hand. You don't want to go towards the sharp edge of the blade. You want to hit towards the back and smash down. And the garlic kind of pops right out. And you have your whole piece of garlic right there. So we're going to do that to the other 3. Again, a little safer over here. And you don't want to hit it so hard that you just completely crush it. You want to be able to chop this up still. But you do have to hit it hard enough to kind of separate it from the wrapper. Okay. So now you just kind of chop it up like we did our onion. Cutting it in half and then turning it and cutting it in little dices. When I'm done with this, I'm actually going to go over the whole thing again. So you don't have to really worry about getting perfect diced cubes right now. So we're just going to really go over it, kind of get nice small pieces. Make sure there's no skin left on there. So the other thing that you should know about chopping, if you want to be safest, you put your hand kind of on the top of the knife, so you prevent it from coming up and kind of being a harm to your fingers. So you're holding the knife down, and you're just kind of bringing the back part up. So now there's nothing underneath the blade, so you don't have to worry about cutting it. So we're going to add that in. And give it a stir. And I'm just going to wash my hands really quick. Garlic is super sticky, so when you start cutting it, all the oils that are in there will get on your hands, and it tends to stick. So I'm just going to wash it off real quick. Did I disappear in there? Sorry. creepy when you're by yourself. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook. And now we're gonna cut up our jalapeno. So the jalapeno is just the pepper. This one tends to be a little spicy. It's not horribly spicy. It's not way up there on the top of the you're gonna burn your mouth. But it's a mild spice, and it is pretty strong. So we have options here. So I'm gonna cut this open. I'm gonna show you inside. There are little veins, and there are a whole bunch of seeds inside. So when you cut the top off, because you don't want to eat that. And then you cut it in half. So you kind of see what's called the rib there. All this white stuff and then the seeds. So all of the heat is in there. There's a little chemical in there called capsaicin. And that's where all the heat lives. So if you like really spicy, you go ahead and leave all of the rib and all of the seed in there. If you like a little bit of spicy, you can leave a little bit of the seed in. And if you don't like spicy at all, just take all of it out. I like a little bit, so I'm just going to leave a few of the seeds in there. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut. I'm probably going to do half of this pepper. I'm not going to do the whole pepper. And these I'm going to cut pretty small to get a big hunk of jalapeno. Doing your burrito is quite a shock. So you just want a little bit of heat in each bite. So we're going to just kind of make this pretty small. Give that a good stir. And by now, you should almost be drooling. It smells really good. That onion's cooking down, the garlic. You got the peppers are starting to cook down. Now to this, we're going to add a very traditional Mexican food spice, cumin. So we're just going to sprinkle that over the top. And this will bring even more flavor and more smell. And we're going to add just a little bit of salt. So I pull in, I would say a big pinch. And we're going to stir this around. We're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. The onions are going to cook down and be nice and soft and translucent. And translucent means it sort of becomes clear. It's not clear. But when you cut the onion, you'll notice that it's a pretty white color. But when you cook it down, it almost becomes see-through. So that's what we're looking for. So we're going to let that cook down, and we're going to come back when that's all set. Alright, so we've cooked for 5-6 minutes. Our onions look nice and tender. They look translucent, so you can kind of see what I mean. You know, you can kind of see they sort of become, not necessarily see-through, but they're definitely a lot clearer than they were. So to this, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And with this, just kind of be careful because it wants to really just throw everything around. So stir it nice and slow. Make sure all your vegetables kind of get incorporated into that tomato paste. All right, and we're going to let this cook for about a minute. This is a really concentrated tomato flavor, so we want a little bit of that flavor to burn off and get soaked into your vegetables. So we're going to let this cook down, and we will be right back. Okay, so we have let our tomato paste cook down. It's starting to look and smell even better. So now we just have to add kind of our final ingredients. To this, we are going to add our black beans. This is about 2 cans of black beans. I just strained them. Some people kind of get grossed out about that really thick liquid that's in there. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about what that liquid actually is. It's actually just sort of the way the starch settles with the water on the inside, so it stays canned for so long that the starch in the bean actually thickens the water. So we're going to stir this in, and we're going to stir in a bag of just frozen corn. And we're going to see if this all fits in here. This is going to be a real trick. Alright, so now at this point, you're either really good at stirring or you wish you picked a bigger pan. So we'll find out which one. So we're just going to kind of stir everything in. And we're going to let this heat up just another minute or two. You just want to warm the beans up and warm the corn up. I actually warmed the corn up already in the microwave, so this is going to heat up even quicker. So just let this cook for about 2 minutes maybe. And that will do it. So we're going to let this cook for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to put these things together. So we'll see you in a couple minutes. Okay, so this is warmed up. This is going to be nice and yummy. We're just going to take this and we're going to add it to our rice mixture. And we're going to add in a good handful of scallions. We're going to save some for a little bit of garnish on the top. So we're going to give this a nice stir. Just get everything nice and incorporated. So the reason we don't really put the scallions in over here is because you're going to cook them and kind of cook them down. Here they'll heat up. They'll heat up as we're stirring it, and they'll still get a little bit of the crunch from the scallion. All right, so that looks good. Now we are ready to assemble. Okay, so we've got our rice mixture, and we've got cheese. So this is really simple to make now. We're just going to take 2 good scoops of our mixture. And we're going to add a good handful of cheese. So I have a Monterey Jack. It's kind of a nice creamy flavor. If you want a little bit spicy, you can go with Monterey Jack. That's just, a pepper jack, that's just a Monterey Jack that has jalapenos in it. So it's just going to add a little more heat. So if you love the heat, that's the way you should go. But if not, just go with the Monterey Jack. It's a mild flavor, but it's nice and smooth. So what you do, I hope you can see this, you just take the sides and fold in, and you take the back and kind of hold everything in. And push down, and then just roll. You've got a perfect little burrito. So there are a couple ways you can eat this. You can just pick this up and eat it right now. I am a little strange. I don't like necessarily the flavor of like a fresh tortilla, so I love to kind of crisp it up a little bit. So I'm going to put this on our griddle here. So you'll notice that there's a seam side. We're going to put it seam side down, and we're going to let it set for 2 minutes on each side. On the bottom, turn it over, and then do it on the top. So I'm going to do one more, show you how to do it again. So we just take our burrito. I'm using 2 pretty good sized scoops. And these are just burrito-sized tortillas. They come in different sizes. They come in taco, they come in burrito, they come in fajita. You want a burrito size. If you've got a fajita, it's quite a bit bigger. That's okay, just put a little more filling in. So you take the sides, after you add the cheese, of course. You'll lose some friends if you don't put cheese on there. Alright, we fold the sides in, fold the top over. So now we know that the food's not going to come out, and we just roll. and it'll stay perfectly still. So again, you can eat it just like that, or you can bring it over here, and we're gonna add it here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the rest, and we'll show you how to plate this up. So our burritos have been cooking for about 4 or 5 minutes. They're nice and golden brown on both sides, and you'll notice that that seam is staying down nicely. So we just take it and we cut it on the bias diagonally. And if you just want for presentation purposes, kind of put it up on its end with a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of salsa, and I throw on a little bit of scallion for color. And I use just a little bit of cilantro. Now cilantro is one of those funny things. People either really like cilantro or they don't. Cilantro is very common in Mexican food. They actually call it Mexican parsley. So if you don't like the flavor of it, and there is this weird statistic that 50% of the population does not like the flavor of cilantro, you can just use regular flat leaf parsley. And it's really just for color. You could leave it out if you wanted to. But the cilantro is actually going to add an extra flavor here. So I would recommend trying it, and if you don't like it, you can just leave it out. So that is our Jack and the Bean burrito. I hope you give it a try, and I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you back here next week.